Good morning. I'll call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. All three commissioners are present. Commissioner Gross will lead us in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve the minutes of July 22nd, 2013.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any changes, corrections, additions, deletions? Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent, or the notice agenda, one item, resolution number 13-423.
Second.
We have a second for the notice agenda. Mr. Rod Lakey.
This resolution 13-423 is a temporary closure to all through traffic on Godfrey Road. This resolution would close Godfrey between Mossy Rock city limits and Swigert Road to all through traffic August 12th, 2013 to September 27th, 2013 to facilitate replacement of a culvert by Lewis County. Replacement of the culverts located at milepost .28 on Godfrey will require closing for the work period due to the construction activities, and the road will remain open from both sides to the point of closure, and there are alternate routes available for traffic to get around in the area. Public Works will post the required advisory signs on both sides of the closure and will notify 911 communications and local fire department of the closure. And this is a rather large pipe and a significant amount of, it'll be a bridge when it's done. It's going to be over 20-foot span along center line, which qualifies for a bridge, but it will also include 350 feet of retaining wall to construct along with it. So quite a lot of activity in a very compact area. So
what are there some residences along there? They're going to have to come in from the backside?
anyone to the south of that milepost 2.28. It's not a long detour. It's just it's
inconvenient.
Getting back to Highway 12. The distance will be similar. It's just that it will be inconvenience for the time of closure.
They'll like it when it's done.
Yes. Yep.
Any other questions? I'll call for the question on the notice agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Notice agenda is approved.
I move we approve the consent agenda items 2 through 7, resolution number 13-424 through 429.
Second.
Motion has been made as seconded. Commissioner Gross.
Item number 2, resolution 13-424 is the approval of warrants for this week. There were 117 regular warrants in the amount of $602,385.05. And that's all for this week. I don't know who's doing this one.
I'll do that one. Resolution number 3, number 13425, is reappointing a member, Board of Directors, on the Public Facilities District. We are reappointing their chairman, Todd Chaput, for a 3-year term. And he said he may be able to make it this morning. He is not. They are getting close to finishing phase 1 on that sports event center, and when they finish that, they'll start on phase 2. So they're actually making progress.
Yes.
Any questions on that one?
Todd was going to be here, but he's in Alaska, he said. Make it.
On vacation or working? Fishing.
Good morning. This is in regard to Resolution 13-426, approving a contract between the Lewis County Coroner and Catamount Funeral Home for the removal of decedents. This resolution regards a public service agreement between the Lewis County Coroner's Office and Catamount Funeral Home. This agreement is for the removal of decedents within Lewis County. The Lewis County Coroner's Office does not provide removal service for decedents and has always relied on a rotating mortuary system to perform these services. In the past, the cost for the removals using a rotating system was $150 per call, and any calls past Mossy Rock resulted in an additional charge of $25 per hour. Under this PSA with Catamount Funeral Home, the removals of decedent will be made for an annual cost of $14,200, irrespective of how many removals are made. With the number of cases handled by the Lewis County Coroner's offices increasing every year, this public service agreement is an effective way to control an otherwise unpredictable cost for the county.
This is up a little bit from last year.
This is for this year.
Yeah, but it's up from last year. Last year it was 13.
It was 13 last year, yes. And we've actually negotiated for next year, it'll be $14,190. So it'll be
Already?
$10 less. Yeah, we've already put out a
Dollars?
$10. Well, we put out a request for bids, and Catamount was the only one who bid, and he came in $10 under what he bid last year.
All right.
So, and let's see, 13427 is a contract between the Lewis County Coroner's Office and Northwest Forensic Pathologist for autopsy services. So this resolution is a public service agreement between the Lewis County Coroner's Office and Pacific Northwest Pathologists. This agreement is for autopsy services within Lewis County. The Lewis County Coroner's Office does not provide pathological services and has always relied upon contract services with outside pathologists. In the past, the cost for each autopsy has been $1,400 with an additional charge of $600 for an external examination. On average, there have been 50 autopsies per year, but this number is not something that my office has any control over. Under this PSA with the Pacific Northwest Forensic Pathologist, they will be paid a contract fee of $70,000 per year, payable in monthly increments of $5,833.33. For this contract fee, Pacific Northwest Forensic Pathologist will perform 70 autopsies, with 2 external examinations counting as 1 autopsy and unlimited telephone consultations. After 70 autopsies, the price per autopsy would be $1,000 per case. The Lewis County Coroner's Office does get reimbursed for 40% of the cost of each autopsy, with 100% reimbursement for child and infant autopsies being the exception. Under this agreement, the Lewis County Coroner's Office will still bill for reimbursement of 40% of each autopsy at the price of $1,000 per autopsy. This agreement is not automatically renewable each year, but will be reviewed by both parties in November. With the number of cases handled by our office increasing every year, this is an effective way to control an otherwise unpredictable cost for the county.
Thank you.
Rod Lakey back again with Public Works for Resolution 13428. Resolution is to commence establishment process for a new road crossing the Chehalis River and changing the terminus of Hatchery Road. This resolution will instruct the county engineer to examine, survey, acquire all necessary right-of-way, and report findings. Construction of a new Living House Bridge is planned to replace the bridge washed out in 2007. The new bridge project will require additional right-of-way, and we have plans for attached to the resolution that directs the county engineer to examine, survey, require all necessary right-of-way. If the resolution is signed, the Public Works Department would commence the right-of-way acquisition process as per Resolution 09-381 and RCW 36.81. Once right-of-way acquisition is complete, up to but not including a recommendation for condemnation as to any unanticipated necessary right-of-way, the engineer's report would be filed with the board, which would include the status of the right-of-way acquisition at the time. A resolution would accompany the report accepting the same and setting a date for hearing. And then an order of establishment would be proposed by execution by the board at that hearing. So this is just the official starting point to acquire the right-of-way for the Loading House Bridge. There was a previous resolution that expedited the process due to a landowner wanting to get the process started, and we accommodated them there a couple months ago to not officially start off, but this would officially begin the right-of-way process for Looting House Bridge. And that previous resolution, 13-233, was at the request of the property owner. And like I said, that was just a voluntary effort to get that process started because he was anxious to sell.
And this bridge was washed out how many years ago?
In 2007, December 3rd.
Do you know where that's located? How many miles from your house, Bill?
Well, I'm glad you're finally gotten around to proposing establishing that road and bridge.
There have been a few hurdles in between here and there, so. And construction is planned for 2014.
I'd like a stronger statement than that.
Planned, will be.
Thank you, Rod.
Good morning, Danette York, Director of Public Health and Social Services, speaking to item number 7, resolution number 13-429. This resolution is to approve a contract between Lewis County and the Lewis County Shelter Program for the Transitional Housing Program in the amount of $106,329. So this contract is called the McKinney Grant. The funds originate at HUD. HUD contracts with Lewis County, who then subcontracts with a local provider to provide transitional housing. Lewis County Shelter Program has provided this transitional housing since May of 2002. This contract agreement will be from May 1st, 2013 through April 30th of 2014. And as I said, the amount is $106,329.
Danette, is this a strict pass-through? 106,000 goes directly to those kind of shelters?
It all goes towards the transitional program with a very small percentage being retained by the county to help offset the cost of the coordinator, the housing coordinator, and any other admin costs that we have.
It's about $2,000 they retain for admin.
Yeah, we're restricted to a certain percentage amount.
So it says the total grant is 108,000, and then, so the 2,600
It's kept here.
or so is the county's management part.
That's correct. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? And I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our business this morning. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.